Okay, everybody could hear me, so very good. Yeah, welcome everybody to this Mirasys webinar today. So hope you are well and everybody is fine. So this webinar today, the topic of this webinar today is the Mirasys SMA, our program to deliver you a high quality support. I would like to go in deep into some more details about it. But let me first of all give you some advice. So if you have any questions during the presentation or you do want to ask us something, so please use the Q&A part of this Teams tool and write it down. So, and if you are logged in right now as an anonymous participant, then please write your email as well so that we can answer your questions afterwards. It could be that I cannot answer this question during this webinar, so I want to give you an answer afterwards. So please write down your email as well so that we can send you the answers then afterwards. Yeah, all right. So first of all, I think it's important that you know who is speaking today. So my name is Udo Schneider. I'm the Sales and Business Development Director at Mirasys. I'm working for Mirasys, I think 8 years right now. And I'm covering Central Europe and some other countries and doing the partner business in that region. So, and what is the content today? So first of all, I want to use the chance as well to talk about Mirasys and about our VMS. So for those who knows us already, who are familiar with Mirasys, it's right now the time to take a cup of coffee or to grab a cup of tea or an espresso or whatever, and then come back after a couple of minutes. And because after a couple of minutes, we will talk about the Mirasys SMA itself. So the update and upgrade philosophy of our company. So it's important to understand this as well. Then the definition of SMA, the content of SMA. Why should we purchase the SMA per year, or why shouldn't we? So we need to discuss this as well. And then I want also to give you a lifetime cycle example of the Mirasys SMA, which makes it more clear for you. What does it mean from the investment side? Investment side. Yeah, then some what if questions as well. So what is happening if I'm doing this and this? Because I think there are some basic questions which needs to be answered. And then at the end, we will have also Q&A session. But let's start with Mirasys first of all. So for those who are not familiar with us. So Mirasys is a company based in Finland, in a wonderful country of Finland, in Helsinki or Espoo, exactly mentioned. We're now since more than 24 years in the business, in the VMS business, and we are a VMS software manufacturer or developer. We're working globally via our partners in more than 40 countries. And we have also some subs in the US, for example, Brazil, in Thailand, and in India, where we have a huge bunch of customers. We want to support them directly or locally. So we have also invested into these branches there. But in general, we are making business via partners, either distributors or integrators or installers, depending on the size of the company, depending on the business and the customer itself. We are feeling very well with every kind of vertical. I need to mention this because sometimes I'm very often asked, what verticals should I use? So it does not matter for us if it's a bank, if it's a financial institute, it's a city surveillance, military installation, or even casinos. So we have a very good footage footage on the casino industry as well as on the retailers. So also the size of the customer doesn't matter for us. If it is a small customer, let's say a kiosk or a bar or a restaurant, or if it is a global company who wants to distribute the whole system to all of their branches, for us, everything is possible. Everything is familiar with us because we have similar customers in our worldwide customer base anyway. If we are talking about the VMS, then there is a clear message. We call our VMS open, easy, secure, and wise. So, and now I need to explain why. So open, easy, secure, and wise. These are the 4 characters of our company and also of our software itself. Open for integrations. So one of the key messages that we want to give to you is that we are open for integrations anyway. So I know it from the past when you were talking about an integration with your customer, then you had to explain to him, okay, maybe your project is not big enough, especially in Europe, the projects are not as big as in the US, or you don't have enough budget for this, so that we are doing the integration for you. Mirasys itself is using standard interfaces like TCP/IP for generating interfaces with other third-party systems and communicate with third-party systems. We're using different drivers for this. So the UDD is a special driver for this universal data driver, where you can validate data from a third-party system via an RS or TCP/IP interface. You can generate events, create alarms out of this. We have also proxy drivers for getting out the metadata from intelligent cameras, for example, to generate alarms, etc. So this is the simplest way how to integrate into another system. But also, we are also providing our SDKs and APIs to third parties, maybe our partner, maybe the customer, maybe also a technology provider, to create, for example, plugins for our user front-end Spotter. Yeah, so creating new features for this, creating a new look and feel, or creating an interface for communicating to a third-party system. Or, and that's the last part, we are also delivering an API that allows other partners, like a PSIM provider, like maybe also an access control provider, to integrate the control of videos and alarms into their own system. So then Mirasys is the VMS backend, and they have their own user interface where they can replay videos, watch live videos, seeing alarms are popping up, etc., etc. So we have a huge bunch of functionalities that we are enabling customers to do that in that way. Is it expensive? No. Because our system is based on standard IT technologies. So that's the first point. So everybody knows them. And if you're familiar, for example, with XML validation or XML file writing, so you can do this without any problems. There are some others, especially in the SDKs and the APIs that you know, like C#, C++, etc., that you can use. But in general, these are standards in the IT world, and so it's very easy to implement us, vice versa, other systems into each other. Easy, the second character. I'm very proud to tell you that the feedback of our customers is always, oh, it's easy to use. It's easy to get, it's easy to use. So, and easy to maintain as well. So for us, it's important that we are continuing in that way. So even a big installation needs to be installed very easily and very quickly, because this costs money. So if you're buying the hardware from us, it is already pre-installed, but if you do it on a third-party server, for example, it needs to be done very easily. One package is available, and this package is containing everything that you need to install the system, even if it is requiring an SQL database. Fast and simple configuration. So also the tool for doing this configuration, doing the administration, must be intuitive and easy to use. And it should also be able to generate either easy installations or complex installations in the same simple way. So there is no difference in between this. So no need to switch between different, let's say, configuration tools, for example, for the VCA and for the camera integration, or for the user management, etc. One single tool for doing everything. Then the user interface, the user experience. You see here, for example, a snapshot of our Mirasys Spotter, the user interface. Also smart, light, and flexible. Flexible in customizing it for the customer, for his requirements, maybe using a multi-monitor or whatever, or having a special look and feel. And on the other side, to be used intuitive. And that's very important. So I can tell you, so I've had once training for a hotel for the receptionists. And after half an hour, they told me, Udo, please move away because I think we can use it by ourselves. That's so easy. Let us try this. And they did, and they were very successful. So in that case, also easy to use. And at the end, also we want to make it for you as a customer or partner easy to manage the system or maintain the system from a center point of view. So there is no need to go via a TeamViewer, for example, remotely to each server. There is a centralized management for doing everything what you want with the servers itself. Yeah, and the fourth synonym was really secure. So we're relying on, or we're insisting to make our system more and more secure. So cybersecurity is a very important message. It doesn't matter if it is about end-to-end encryption for the streaming as well as for the communication. If it is more authentication capabilities than only the 2 passwords. And also it doesn't matter for us if it is about the internal communication. So we're using HTTPS communication in the future. So in the nearest future, in 2 weeks time, maybe. There will be a new release, which is using HTTPS communication and HTML5 clients instead of Java. So this is also an ongoing process. We are digging more and more into this so to make your system more secure. And at the end, yeah, you have a bunch of video information and you really want only to look to those who are really important for you. So in that case, you need to have some more intelligence in the system. So we're talking about standard video content analysis, maybe only motion detection in a sophisticated way in the outdoor environment, but we are also talking about artificial intelligence. And this does mean specialized, customized AI models, identification or analytic models for your requirements. If you have a certain behavior that you want to analyze and it could be not done by the standard video content analysis, AI is the solver for that. Not for everything, but it is the solver and will become more and more important in the future. We have this proxy metadata drivers for the intelligent cameras that we have in the field. So if we're talking about a Hikvision camera, the Hua, or an Axis camera, Bosch camera, just an example, they have their own intelligence inside. So we can take out the metadata to create alarms and to manage them. Yeah, facial motion blurring, this is also something which is standard today in our software. And then intelligence does also mean that we are talking about more and more forensic analyzing. So person search is the first step into this, so we can search similar or same person in different videos, and we will expand this in the future to more objects, to different objects between cars, trucks, small vans, motorcycles, bicycles, if he's wearing a mask or whatever. So to search for such a scenario, this is something that we are investing a lot into right now. So yeah, that was about Mirasys. So Mirasys itself is a company based in Helsinki. So if you want to visit us, do it. It's really lovely. It's a really nice country. Then secondly, talking about the VMS. So our VMS is standing for open, being easy to use, security, and talking about the wiseness of a system by doing intelligent analytics inside the system. Not only in videos, but also in data in general. This is also a message that I want to give to you. So I do hope that everybody is back. That everybody is back to the heartbeat of this presentation, Mirasys SMA. Yeah, before we start, we need to understand the update and upgrade philosophy of Mirasys. So I know that there are companies outside which are talking about major releases and versions and minor versions and bug fixes and security patches, etc., etc. What is the philosophy of us? So first of all, the first part is we are constantly testing our cameras, our camera providers, and we are updating our drivers constantly. I had a discussion this morning already with our development team with regards to a new provider in the market who has asked us, okay, please test our cameras if they are really OnWith compatible with your OnWith driver. And we are doing this. Very interesting is that our drivers are downward compatible in most of the cases, I need to say. So if you have still an old system and you want to use a new camera, so let's say in 90% of the cases, it is downward compatible, so you can use the new camera with an old driver. The next part is we are generating software revisions. So this does mean if we are talking about a version x.xx.xx, so the last two xx, for example, are the revisions. So as an example, for example, if we have version 9.3.1 today, then the next revision would be version 9.3.2. And it is containing bug fixes and security patches all the time. Then we have at this next step the minor releases. That means the two X's in the middle of the version are the minor releases. So version 9.3, the next release would be version 9.4. So next to the bug fixes and security patches that we are also containing into this release, we will have new features and new plugins for Spotter, for example. So that means, for example, if there is coming a new plugin, let's say the person search, yeah, or number plate recognition management, number plate management, then we will put a plugin into such a minor release, or new features like facial recognition or whatever. And then there will be these major releases. That means this is the first X in the beginning of the version. And this does mean a change would mean version 9 to 10 or version 8 to 9 or version 7 to 8. These are the major release changes. I need to drink something, so I have a dry tongue. Yeah, it's working better. All right. Next to the bug fixes and security patches and the new features and plugins which are contained in this, we have also here architectural and technology changes that we have implemented. That does mean, for example, for version 9 to version 10, maybe HTTPS communication internally, or using new technologies that we have never used before. So just an example. So we changed the file system from version 7 to 8. The old file system had some issues, so there were some limitations which were not state-of-the-art anymore, and we changed it completely. And so we launched the version 8. So this is meant with technology changes. So definition of an SMA. What does it mean? In simple, it is a synonym for software maintenance agreement. What does it mean? This is an agreement between customer, the Mirasys partner, and Mirasys itself, or an agreement between a customer and Mirasys. This could also happen, that there is no partner in between, depending on the customer. It supports the partner to fulfill his maintenance agreement with the end customer. I think that most of the end customer do have a maintenance agreement with the installer or the integrator or the system house, which has sold or provided this VMS to them to maintain the cameras, to clean them up, to maintain the servers, to take care of the software itself, etc., etc. And our software maintenance agreement helps the partner to really fulfill this. I know that the scenarios or the situation outside is sometimes a bit different. So when we are talking about software maintenance agreement and about annual fees for this, if I'm talking to an IT department, they say this is standard. If I have a very critical software or critical infrastructure, then I'm normally buying the software maintenance agreement so that the system is not majoring, that I'm getting everything I need. If we're talking about the traditional CCTV environment, it could happen that the partner or the customer is saying, I know it from the history because we had formerly this recorders, and we're working for 15 years. Maybe we need to clean the heads, the writing heads, but they were working for 15 years without any problems. Why should I pay for upgrading the system or updating the system? But honestly, I will tell you later on why you should do this with some arguments. but this is helping you exactly to do this. And if a partner is having a maintenance agreement with the customer, he should also have a maintenance agreement with us. The software maintenance agreement for the first year is already part of the original enterprise license. Only the enterprise license is containing the first year SMA. Okay, let's talk what is the content of the SMA. First of all, you can upgrade the system to all software revisions, minor and major releases. Yes, if we have an architectural change, if we have a new version on board, maybe version 10, with the SMA, you are getting it free of charge. So your system is not maturing anymore. So you have always the latest information, you have the latest software on board, you have the latest technology, the latest architecture on board, and you can use it without any problems. So very interesting for you. Or then update the VMS to all new drivers, security patches, and new plugins if they are not as an option. So it could happen that we have a special plugin which is requiring a new license, then it's an option. But normally the plugins that we are providing are standard in the software. So we have two new plugins right now, Incident Manager and Storage Locker, for exporting video centralized, doing the incident reports centralized, etc., etc. So these are free of charge for you. So in that case, you have access to this and you can use them. And then at the end, you are getting also free access to the license changes. This does mean if you are changing your hardware, you are getting new license for us. The license will be rewritten. Then you have an extranet access via the partner, so that you can always download the latest software. So you have access to the online support team. You can all create tickets to them. You're getting feedback from them, so they are helping you. You have always also access to the backend team. This does mean if you, for example, using some new developments, or you have a third-party system that you want to integrate, and you want to do this by yourself, or you have a partner who is doing this for you, he can talk without any problems to our developers. Normally, we are offering this as an, let's say, supporting package, or let's say consulting package. But in this case, you have free access to that. Then you have also a privileged handling inside our company. So this does not mean that all the other customers do not have any priority. If there is any problem that is critical, so we help you immediately. That's not a problem. But honestly, also in that case, if there are minor problems, we are supporting our SMA customers in the first. This does mean that you are getting the answer maybe half a day later, honestly. And then you have also the access to the customer feedback management, because if we are having your customer details, we can also stay in contact with you, or you with us, and give us feedback. And that's very important for us, because you are the idea driver for our development. This does mean our development is always eager to understand how to improve our software, how to improve the work with our software. Without SMA, we very seldom have the chance to talk to end customers. With the SMA, then it is mandatory that you are naming your end customer and you're putting the contact information into this. And together with you, we will also ask the customer frequently how is your feeling about our system. What could we make better in that way? Why should we have a continuity in Mirasys SMA? Is it enough to buy the system once and then leave it like it is? I have customers who are still having a system which is 14 years old and is still running on Windows XP in a very old version, and they're happy with that. But I want to give you some arguments why to invest into Mirasys SMA. First of all, following the standards. That's my first message to you. The IT standards are changing. So if you remember, a couple of years ago, nobody was talking about terabyte hard disks. Today, we are talking about terabyte hard disks. I saw the last terabyte hard disk was 16 terabyte size. So in that case, We have new standards in the IT world. We have new CPUs. Yeah, we have new communication standards, and we need to follow the standards. With the SMA, you can do this. You can keep your VMS, which is an IT system and not a simple recording system, on the standard that is valid today. Even if it is not connected to the internet, you have the possibility, for example, to exchange the hardware and use new hardware without any problems. Next to this, I would say that in general, an IT administrator never would do this without SMA. Follow the security. So you see, for example, I was talking about Windows XP. Windows XP is not supported today anymore. So if you have any issues with the XP, you won't get any support from Microsoft. So also in that case, Mirasys is following the security world. So if there is any issue in that, if there needs to be done any fixes in that, we will do this and we will make our system more and more secure. So we will have bug fixes. So if you are not paying for the SMA, you don't have any bug fixes anymore. If you have an older system, it might happen in the newer system that is still available. But if your system is maturing, this is not possible anymore. And you never know when a bug is happening. So maybe there is some new guy in your company who is using the system and he's using it in a different way, and he's finding out that there is a bug. So what you are doing then? So you can only upgrade the system, or your hardware is crashing. The same situation. Follow the technologies. So we try and we are eager to implement new technologies. So you are talking about higher redundancies today. So the old failover is not the state of the art anymore today. So we are talking about scaling computers, scaling disks. We're talking about virtualization. Yeah. So this is only possible if you are keeping your system on, let's say, state of the art. Yeah. And then following the features. So we have a lot of features which were required by customers out of their experience. And maybe you are exactly this customer who has no idea that Mirasys could do much more for you based on the features that are still now implemented than you can do with your old system. So in that case, we want to ease your life. We want to ease your usage of the system and to find the right videos at the right time. And this is feature-wise. So in that case, why continuity of the Mirasys system? Why should I pay the annual fee for this? Follow the standards, follow the security, follow the technologies, follow the features, and then you are safe. I want to give you a next argument why Mirasys SMA is good for you. I have here one lifetime cycle. 6 years. So first year SMA already included, and then 5 additional years paying an SMA contract to us. So this does mean you have paid the VMS once again. So you have the first investment into the licenses and you had the second investment into the license within the next year 2 to 6. This does mean in general, our SMA is costing 20% of the license costs. In general, I say because it could be in different regions, different, or for different customers, it could be a little bit different, but in general, 20%. So that does mean also you have used at least 3 additional major releases. So you have the first major release, which you have installed in the beginning, and then at least 3 to 4 major releases has been launched during this period, and you have used them. So if you balance this, paying once against used 4 releases, 4 times a complete new software, this does mean at the end you have refunded your investment at least 2 times. And this is a good deal, I think. Sure, you can say, okay, after 3 years, I'm buying a new software, and maybe it is Mirasys. Yeah, then you're paying again for Mirasys or for another system. But in this case, with the SMA, you have a non-maturing system, and it makes you happy. Okay, Last but not least, I would like to answer some questions which are coming up maybe right now already. So the first is, what if you are expanding an existing license by more channels during the time? That means you have installed, for example, 100 channels in the original license, and then maybe after, let's say, half a year or 9 months, you want to add 12 new cameras, you buy new license, expansion licenses. In that case, it's very simple. The existing SMA contract stays in place. This does mean if you buy it, let's say, at the beginning of January, the SMA contract is ending in the end of October. Also for the expansions, there is no expansion of the SMA based on this 12 license. If you buy a bit more license, we could also a little bit be flexible in that way. Let's say it that way. If you are, for example, having bought 10 licenses in the beginning and you buy 100 license after 6 months, then we will discuss this. That's not an issue. But in general, if you add new smaller license channels, then the SMA contract will stay and will remain as long as the original license has SMA. This does also mean normally that if you don't have any SMA, your expansions won't have any SMA as well. To be fair, to be honest, otherwise, honestly, our partner would lose money and you would lose money. We would lose money. That's not really fair. What if you have forgotten to renew your SMA contract? So let's say it ends on the 31st of December and now it's the 5th of January or the 10th of January, and you say, oh shit, the SMA, I have forgotten to renew the SMA. Very simple. Talk to your partner, talk to us. We will find a way for this. That's not a problem. That's not really a problem. So we want to make you happy in that way. What if an older VMS version, but you like to upgrade it? No SMA anymore. You see after 4 years, oh, the new Mirasys version 9 is so great. It's so lovely. I want to upgrade. In that case, it's very simple. We are offering a very attractive upgrade package for older systems. Contact us, contact your partner, and he will give you an offer. I need to tell you, this is not expensive as you think. So it is not the same price for new licenses and for an upgrade package. And even here, it does not matter for us if you have version 7, 6, or 5. It is the same price. And you remember, if you remember, version 5 is more than 10 years old. If you have more than 10 years old system and you have a small upgrade package price, so it's really worth to think about, should I not upgrade my system to the latest, and maybe make my IT administrator happy, because he's then also getting a new PC, a new laptop, or a new server for that. So I think all in all, I've explained the SMA, what is the content of the SMA, how our upgrade philosophy is. I have given you some arguments why to upgrade your system, why to pay SMA. And I think I have also answered some additional questions. I'm pretty sure there are more questions in the field than I think. So, and let's go now to the Q&A session. Okay, I see here 2 questions. The first question is really, okay, I answered this already. What is the price of the SMA? As I said, first year is free in the original license, and then it's around 20% of the license fee that you have paid per year. There is another question that's coming up. Okay, is the 2nd, 3rd, 4th year SMA mandatory for running your system? No, of course not. So you can do it. It's an option. So you can say, okay, in the 2nd year, I paid him SMA on an annual fee. No problem. Then you have access to this. If you don't do this, you leave, you keep the system as it is. You will get maybe some bug fixes, some security patches, but that's it. And the system is running as you are used to have it in the first year. There's no blockade, no, let's say, decrease of functionality, nothing inside. And the system is running, honestly. Okay, there's another question. So what's happening if I'm coming after the 3rd year and I would like to create an or to buy an SMA after 3rd year? So I think you mean you don't have paid the SMA and in the 3rd year you want to pay the SMA. Yeah, we'll find a way. Maybe the upgrade package is cheaper than to repay the SMAs for the last 2 years. I don't know. So we will discuss this on the business case with you, and we will find a way which is satisfying both of us. Okay, there is another question. If I want to buy the upgrade package, let's say after a couple of years, do I need also to pay the SMA for the following years? No, of course not. So if you, for example, have a version 7, which is running maybe 8 years, and after 8 years you decide to upgrade the system, then you're getting the upgrade package. You don't need to pay the SMA for the year, let's say 2 to 7 or 2 to 8. We are not doing this. This would be unfair, honestly. You pay the upgrade package and then you can run the system on the latest version. Okay, any additional questions? Okay, here's one question, why I'm not getting offered the 2nd year SMA? That's very tricky. Honestly, we're changing this right now. So because in most of the cases, we do not know who our customer is. We know who the partner is who has bought the license for you, but we do not know in some cases, or in very often, we do not know who the end customer is. We're changing this right now. That means that we are asking our partners to also fill in the end customer information, because we also want to stay in touch to get your feedback. We are not doing this without the allowance of our partner, honestly. That's very important, because everything is going through the partner. But then it could happen that we are not seeing you, and then we cannot offer this to you. We will do this in future in a more sophisticated way. I think there are also changes on the software which allows us to give you more information about new features, new functionalities. But this is something that we will discuss later on. But in that case, it's also up to our partner and to you to ask for a new SMA. So we have partners who are doing this constantly and renewing the SMA constantly, and we have some other partners who are not doing this because the customer does not want it, or it's not necessary in that way. Okay, there's one question. Is there any need of an internet connection to my system if I want to upgrade the system? No, not really. Because of the fact that we are also pronouncing our new releases and all major releases, etc., etc. You will get this information. Then you can download from our extranet. You can take it on a USB stick and put it into your system. So there's no need for this. So everything that is pronounced, is launched, is available as a package in our extranet. So that's the reason why it's so important to have extranet access. Okay, I learned that there are no questions anymore. But I learned that there are there's some time delay. So I would like to wait for some seconds so that maybe somebody could ask an additional question. No, I don't think so. All right. Okay. Then it would be time to say thank you to you for your attendance, for your patience with me. I would like also to remind you that you can get in touch with us either via your local distributor or a local sales manager, or in the simplest way via sales@mirasys.com. If you want to get a demo of our software, if you are interested, please ask us, no issue. And at the end, I would like again to say thank you for your patience, for your audience. I wish you all the best. See you next time, maybe in 2 weeks' time when we have the next webinar. Stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.